Well, if you've ever wanted to shapeshift into your favorite character, fangs, elf ears, and all, our next guest can show you how. Jace, also known as basically a vampire in the cosplay world, grew up attending conventions and Renaissance festivals. Now his cosplay work is award-winning at Comicpalooza. This weekend, he'll lead panel discussions on building costume prosthetics, how to create everything from monster scales to elven ears. Basically, a vampire joins us with a sneak peek. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Before we get into like how you actually got into this, we're going to explain to people how you got into this, right?
Yeah.
So let's, over here on the table, we have several examples of what it takes for you to get where you're going. So what is this right here?
So that is a life cast of my face, which I use to make face prosthetics and like sculpt them to my actual face so that they fit perfectly.
Yeah, can I turn that around?
Yeah, yeah.
It's okay? Okay, I'm going to get that.
So
turn that around. So
you can, the front is kind of boring, but the inside is the part that like has the negative of my face. So yeah.
All right, so I'm looking at your teeth, and I don't know if we can get a close up here. It looks like, of course, vampire teeth, right? Those fangs right there.
Yeah.
Now I do know some people in the cosplay world who have gone as far as to get them done that way for real, right?
Yeah.
Are those for real? Oh, thank goodness. Okay, they come out. But that's what this piece is right here.
Yeah, so that is a life cast of my teeth, and then I sculpt the fangs onto that, and then I make a mold and I cast them out of dental acrylic, which is the same thing that dentures are made out of traditionally, which is why I can just take them in and out because they are actually like sculpted to my teeth.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're pretty long lasting. Those are, that little mold is also the actual like mold that goes with it. So I put the dental acrylic in there, put the teeth in, and then it makes it positive with the fangs. Exactly. Yeah. It's exactly, the cast of your teeth is exactly what a dentist does.
And then what's going on right here?
So this is one of my elf ears, which is going to be part of this demonstration. This is a little mold of a horn, which I wanted to show you that you can make a little horn. So it's a little resin horn. Yeah, so you can glue them on. You usually do a pair, but I like the demon look too.
Yeah,
chin horn, little goatee.
Yeah, a little chin horn, little goatee,
rigid
little chin horn. Yeah, put it wherever you want it, right?
So yeah.
All right, so you, like a lot of us, grew up going to a lot of things like the Renaissance Festival and stuff. When you see that, it's almost magical, isn't it?
Yeah, so my parents actually had a shop at the Renaissance Festival growing up. So when I like grew up there, I went every weekend. It was every weekend was playing dress up, like hanging out at the Renaissance Festival all day, every day on the weekends. Yeah. So that is really like, I grew up in the magic of like
And when you say play dress up, I mean, this is serious dress up.
Yeah, I wore costumes. I mean, my parents are both, my mom's a seamstress and a leather worker, so she used to make me costumes when I was a kid. And then as soon as I was old enough to sew my own, she started teaching me how to sew my own.
You were the one that showed up like on Halloween in the classroom, and you had like the over-the-top costume.
So I still have, when I was in like elementary school, I won a costume contest, and it was a little skeleton that looks like an Oscar, and it's gold, and I still have it because it was so cool.
You won a costume contest at Comicpalooza.
Yeah, in this costume last year.
Okay, in college you actually studied sculpting, mold making, and casting techniques, and these are a lot of classes that people who actually make prosthetics for medical reasons would take as well.
Yeah, so I have a bachelor's degree in fine arts, and I studied like traditional media illustration.
Media illustration,
and so I learned to make sculptures and then make molds of them and cast things, including everything from like little prosthetics to like 10-foot serpent statues that were put up in a gallery.
Yeah. All right. When you came to, look at that. That is so.
That was my thesis project.
That is crazy. That is amazing. Coming to Comicpalooza, what's that experience been like for you? And how do you explain it to people on the outside looking in? They'll see all the people walking through the doors and go, "What is going on there?" But it almost is like a community, isn't it?
It's very much a community. I moved to Houston right before the pandemic from Ohio. I grew up in Ohio, and my first time attending Comicpalooza last year, because obviously the pandemic happened, so there wasn't a lot of social things. And my first time attending Comicpalooza last year was one of the first times after moving here that I really felt like, oh, okay, I've found like my place and my community and like my people. It is very much a community, and it's very welcoming and friendly, and I like could not recommend it enough.
What is so liberating about just being somebody completely different and taking it to the level that you took it? Because mine's just an Amazon wig and a robe. But but what is so liberating about the creation of it? Because just like we see people create art on canvas or you know, molding a statue or whatever, this has that same effect, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's really similar. It's just a different form of making art, and it's really fun. I love making things and sewing and This was my first time doing embroidery, so I
did
designed all of it.
Stop.
Yeah.
You did this embroidery.
Yeah, so I designed all of it and then machine embroidered it, and
I need you for a gala gown pretty soon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, take us through what you have right here.
Okay, so this is a demonstration of making prosthetic elf ears, which is what these are, which these are the ones that I wore last year to compete in. Would you like me to do the demonstration
sure.
now? Okay, so.
Because I need a pair.
Yeah, so you start with 2 different kinds of silicone. I have a lovely little scale here. Did you turn on? Yes. And this varies by silicone, disclaimer. This one is 2 different parts, and you mix them. So it is 1A to 1B by weight. Don't judge me if this is messy. I haven't done this
and
in
it can be
class
messy, sticky stuff, so make sure you do this in an area where you have some coverage.
That is why there's a drop cloth on the table. I'm not going to be very precise about this because I'm just showing you the idea, but the idea is that you mix these 2 parts evenly by weight.
Okay.
And then I will show you adding the pigment. You can see it's very thick and viscous, which is why I put the drop cloth down.
Do you do actual lessons, private lessons for people?
Sometimes. I talk about this a lot in panels,
Right.
and I'm also going to do an entire panel on just making elf ears at some point. My panel this weekend is more like general prosthetic making, so I won't go quite as into detail, but we do talk about like this process and things.
So you end up mixing all together. That's your tint and everything.
Yeah, so this is a skin tint, and if you were doing a different skin tone, you can get different skin tones. This is obviously the one that is close to mine.
To yours,
I am white
and then you
as a
fast
ghost.
forward, you mix it, you pour it into a mold,
so
and then
mix
you
it,
get.
And you can see the little, like the color change, and then you would pour it into a mold like this, and then once this is poured into this mold, you put the positive of your ear in, like this, and it fits in, and then it creates that.
Oh, I don't think it goes with my cinnamon buns. But yeah, but there you go. It
So
slides
it
right
goes
over
like
your
this.
ear, and that's what you get when you like turn to the side. And it's hard. I can't even see the between your ear and that ear. I can't even see where it changes.
Yeah.
That is super cool. Well, thank you so much, Basically a Vampire. You can catch Basically a Vampire at Comicpalooza all weekend. He'll be around in costume as several characters. When he's out of costume, he's just Jace. To learn more, visit greatdayhouston.com and we will connect you.